Well, congratulations. How are you feeling after that performance?
Yeah, I'm relieved to be back on track. I've been talking about it for a while. Just wanted to get myself back on track, back in the win column, and I can breathe today. So I'm feeling great.
What do you think was the biggest step that you took in order to achieve that goal?
I think, honestly, I was focusing a little bit too much on, like, technique in my fight. Like, I really wanted to, I want to be as technical and crisp as possible, which I still do, but I think it was kind of holding me back. This whole fight, this whole camp was just about getting after it and getting it done by any means necessary. I did not care how I won tonight, but I came to win.
Did you expect the fight to go the way that it did?
Yeah, she, in the last round, put a little bit more pressure than I was thinking, but, it was the last round, so she needed to come out. But yeah, I have wrestling to stop her attempted takedowns because I know she's very comfortable on the ground, which is where I assumed she wanted to go. But she will stand and strike if she can't get it there, so that's pretty much how I expected it would be.
Is it difficult to prepare for somebody who hasn't had a fight in a while? You don't have new tape, you don't know what she's done to improve, or are you one that is really more focusing on yourself?
Yeah, like maybe a while ago, I would have been a little bit nervous about, 2 years out, because I know how I train, so I know I try to evolve as much as possible. So in 2 years, that's quite a bit of time. But currently, like I said, I was really just trying to get in here and put a pace and a pressure, so I wasn't really concerned about what technique was going to happen. I was just, wherever it goes is where it goes, and I just need to go hard wherever that is. So I was pretty comfortable with her being out for a while.
What was the last piece of advice that your grandma gave you before you fought?
I heard her in the third round, so I was super, super excited. But yesterday she was on fire. She's wild. Let me tell you, my grandma's wild. She loves fighting. She loves me, and she was hyped, very hyped. I don't know exactly what she said. Probably couldn't say everything of what she said, but she pretty much said, kick ass, get after it, and get it done.
What's the next step for you? When do you want to get back in there? Do you have an opponent in mind, a date, a location, anything like that?
I want to stay active. The year's almost over, so I'd probably like to just hang out the rest of the year. We're moving gyms, so kind of have some personal things. And then beginning of the year, line it up. I don't care who. I don't care when or where.
Last question. There was some big USADA news this week. All of that happening during a fight camp when you were preparing. Did it throw you off at all, or do you have any thoughts on switching now to a different drug testing facility?
It didn't throw me off at all. For me, USADA is just something that we need to do. So it's just I'm not constantly worrying about it. Just something that is a part of the job. So they're switching over. Cool. We'll see how it shakes out, how smooth it is. But I'm not worried about it.
Thank you.
Are you one of the fighters that had any kind of weird moments when it came to the USADA coming at early hours or anything that was distracting?
I have not had any issues with them. Thankfully, they've been really great, very professional, very nice. So I see them, I do what we need to do, and then we go on our ways.
That's good. Well, it seems like the brass is taking lots of fighter input, so I'm not sure if you're the kind that wants to input and say what you think about the drug testing program, especially when it comes to the hours and stuff, but they seem pretty receptive. When you hear things like that, does that feel good for you, knowing that they want to take fighters' input and how the new program is going to get set up?
Yeah, I do I haven't been inconvenienced at weird times or whatever, so I'm really thankful for that. Those big, I feel like they go after more the big name people and try to do that, or the bigger name people, will call it out more, I guess. But luckily I haven't had to deal with that, but it is inconvenient. If you're on a sleep regimen, when you're close to a fight, you're on a very strict schedule, so you want to get your sleep, you want to get your rest, you're kind of on a routine. Any disturbance can be kind of distracting. So I understand where some of those fighters are coming from, but luckily I've not had to deal with that. But to hear that they're working to make it, more comfortable for everybody while still getting all the testing done that's great news to me.
You mentioned about trying not to focus so much on technique. How do you, while you're in there fighting, how do you find that sweet spot? I mean, is it really trying to make the most of just when you're in training, when you're in the gym, to really focus on the technique there that allows you to not maybe think about it here? How do you find that sweet spot when you get into the moment?
I feel like a lot of fighters go through phases, or at least I do, where I focus on different things at different times, and I just got really hyper focused on wanting to be super crisp, super technical, and that's awesome. I still do, but I do feel I was waiting for the timing in the fights, and if it doesn't happen, then you are not active. So I just needed to take the weighting out this round, this fight camp, and it landed. Like it'll land. It might not look as pretty as like a perfectly timed shot, but like at the end of the day, I got the job done. I got my hand raised, and that's all I care about for this fight. Maybe in the future, I'll work and see how to balance like technique and aggression, but I just needed to get it done today.
Well, looking at the results of the techniques today, you definitely marked her up, cut her up above both eyes. You got to be pretty happy with how your striking was playing out there.
Yeah, I only saw one cut, so I was trying to like target that. I didn't realize it was two until after. But yeah, I'm really glad that I was able to land and not take too much damage. I mean, I got hit, but no cuts or anything. Sometimes when the eyes get swollen, it's kind of difficult to see and stuff. So I'm glad.
Yeah, whereas you looked like you were definitely having the better of the straight ahead striking. She was getting some good shots when it came to some of the elbows and some of the knees. How hard were some of those, and did those affect you as the fight was going on?
I mean, she was throwing. She had landed some good body shots. I know she used that back leg a lot, so I was expecting that, catch, sweep, block them. I feel like she landed a couple, and I blocked the rest.
Congrats on the victory.
Thank you.
You mentioned things maybe not looking pretty, but what was beautiful is that right hook to the body. Did you guys study that in her fights? Because it was there for you all night.
I love the body shots. I love the body work. I just haven't been able to land them. So really glad that they worked out tonight. And her being so long and lanky, I knew that either the body or the head was going to be open. So really we just worked on rotating between the two. If head's open, go there. If the body's open, go there.
Yes, and I'm sure you have to have, once you see the tape, of course, you have to be happy with your boxing tonight because that looked on point. The shots were there. You found your range. And how happy were you that she just kept coming forward, though? Props to Yoder. She was not having it and just terminated towards you.
Yeah, she's tough for sure. She has a lot of fights like me. A lot of people in the UFC don't have a lot of fights or a lot of, I guess, experience coming in before. Yoder, myself, and quite a bit of other people on the roster have pre-UFC experience, so I feel like that plays out, and she was really tough.
And now that you got the first fight out of the way, you could enjoy the show. Was it nice to just be like, okay, went to work, now I can relax?
I was so excited that it was the first fight. Honestly, early, I love early. 11, 1 o'clock, that's perfect time for me.
What's it like with the celebration? You hit NASCAR, you're going to just stay in Vegas for a little bit. What's up?
I have family here. My grandma flew out. I've got friends that came out. I've got, my dad, my mom. We've got a group, so not everyone's here at the Apex, but they're out somewhere celebrating, and we're going to meet up after, eat, and just, really enjoy today.
There you go, celebration. Woohoo!
Yes, thank you.